Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Leah Monet, and today I have this lock style for you. It's locks with the bohemian flair because I have a lot of loose curls in here. Just stay with me. I'm going to walk you through the hair and of course how long these took, because before you watch this you need to make sure you have the patience to do this hairstyle, because that is going to be the key word today with achieving this style. So stay with me. So I have 3 different types of hair. So I'm gonna start you off with the Cuban Swiss double strand style 16. I purchased all of this hair at my local beauty supply, 16 inch. They didn't have a color 2. I typically buy my hair in a 2, but they only had a 4 left. But since this is gonna be inside my dread, the 4 will blend okay. Next I have the twisted up springy twist, springy afro twist expression out tray hair. This is a 16 inch. And then lastly, I have some Lulu Tress water wave. This is typically what I use for like passion twists or passion braids. And I have this in a color 2 as well.
Alright, so I'll just turn around.
But they look good so far. So I'm about to start the side parts where I'm just going to be going straight across. Hopefully I can finish it tonight. This is just taking a really long time. Of course I knew it would, just because they're long and wrapping dreads just always take a long time.
Later that night.
So first of all, I'm tired. I'm tired, girl. It is a little bit after midnight. Because yeah, it's basically like 12:15 and I am going to bed. And so I was trying to make it through at least like this left side. I'm gonna show y'all how to do one of the dreads on this side. It'll be easier because my camera's over here. I will wrap this up tomorrow. I feel like this will probably take another 3 hours for me to finish. Just because I am doing the ones in the front a bit smaller than the ones in the back, just because I wanted to make sure it was full, and I would rather the front be fuller because I can see it better and it's easier for me to wrap. But that is it for today. I'm going to come back tomorrow morning and I'm going to wrap up the hair. Hey y'all, so I am back for day 2. I am feeling refreshed and I'm ready to just like knock this out so that I can be done. So let's go, day 2. So first I grab a piece of the out tray, the Cuban twist hair. So grab a piece of that. For the most part with these, I'm kind of down to the end of my pack where some of the pieces are a little bit smaller than others. But for the most part throughout the rest of the hair, I was basically splitting these in half. So this one's a little bit thicker, so I'm gonna take a little bit off. And then I'll get about this much hair, which is what I will add in first. So let's go ahead and add this. I'll use my crochet hook. I'm gonna do this one back here. So just a few inches down, just insert the needle through your braid. So when I do my braids, I do braid it and then I twist the ends up just because it's a little bit quicker. But you'll want to make sure that you have the hair braided at least up until this point, because otherwise the needle will just kind of separate that twist. So I pull it through just like this. And then I try to make sure these are about even, because this is about the length where I want my locks to end. So I have this hair on. So next I will grab the springy twist hair, which is going to be like a slightly softer texture. And I usually separate about 2 of these per lock. So not too much, but just enough where you can kind of wrap it without having to wrap too closely. So I have about this much here, not much. I don't want my locks too thick, and I also don't want them too thin to the point where I'm just like wrapping a million times. I should be able to spread this out so that it can lay flat on my lock. So again, I'm going to take my hook, but this time I am going to insert it at the root of my braid. And I'm going to add this hair in. Close it, pull it through. So at this point, I do pull this hair. I do one long side and one short side. So this short side will end kind of close to where I'm getting to add in the extra hair. So it'll just phase out. So I'll take the ends of the hair that I have at the roots, and then I will just begin to lock it. So I always like to do a couple of I don't know what the word is, a couple of wraps at the root to kind of lock it in. Hopefully you can see that. And then I will just gradually start making my way down. Now, I do add in the curly hair, and that is kind of just preference on where I want to lay it. So I'm gonna add mine in about midway through. So right now I'm just gonna twist down. And as you can see, I'm keeping the hair flat so that when I pull it over, it is basically taking up maybe like a half of inch of space. And so I don't have to wrap just over and over again. I can kind of move down gradually. So that's all I'm doing here. Just keeping the hair flat and making my way down. Now when you're doing this, try not to wrap too tight, because then it takes away from the lock kind of having the natural frizzy look, and that's kind of the look that I'm going for. If you want your locks to be a little cleaner, then you can go ahead and wrap it tighter. It'll give it a bit more of a smoother look. But for me, I'm going for the distressed look, so I'm just gonna wrap these. And you can see like the distress kind of coming naturally here. I'm not doing anything extra. So I'm gonna stop about here, and I'm going to add in a curly piece of hair. So with the curly hair, I have the Lulu Tress Water Wave hair. This is the same hair that you would use for passion twists, passion braids. So basically this is one strand of the hair. So I will take scissors and I will cut it about to the length that I'm going to use it. So I always like to cut the ends, because you know the ends are going to kind of curl into a tighter, like an ending, versus once you cut that middle piece, you see how that end becomes, can you see? The end becomes a little more blunt. So that is always the piece that I like to use on the end to have coming out of the lock or at the bottom. So each of these locks, each of these twists, I separate into 4 small pieces. So you definitely want to cut it first because it's easier to separate. And so something like this. You don't want the pieces too thick within your lock, just because you're going to use a lot of these throughout the process. So I'm going to take this piece, and I have my lock here. So this is the hair that I am wrapping around. You can really add this in any way that you feel comfortable with. The best way for me so far has been to put the long piece with the hair that I am holding in my hand. And what I'll do is just go ahead and wrap this around. Wrap it around with the wrapping hair and kind of seal it in. Once I feel that it is sealed in well enough, I'll take this piece out. I'll usually put it in my mouth and just kind of hold it out of the way. You could clip it up as well. So either way, whatever is quickest for you. So as I get to the end where I am wrapping my hair, to the end of where the hair is going to run out, I'll typically start wrapping up just a little bit to kind of lock it in. So I'm going to overlap when I add the second piece. So I'll grab that second piece of the Springy Twist hair that I've already separated, and now I'm going to finish out the lock. So I'll usually start from about where I stopped at, but I'll overlap just a little bit so I can make sure that I'm securing that other hair. And then I'm just going to continue this process all the way down. So this is the part where you just really just gotta have patience, because it probably takes about at least 5 minutes per lock, like of just wrapping it. It's a lot. Alright, so you can see now I am getting very close to the end of my lock. It's lining up perfectly with my other locks. You should be able to see, hopefully. And so what I'm going to do now is add in the curly hair at the end. So I kind of added in with the same process. Grab a piece, and I just add it into, just like again, the long piece I keep within the hair that I'm holding in my hand. And I begin to wrap the other piece with the other wrapping hair. So in order to make my ends a little bit smoother, what I've been doing is, so I typically end up with some extra hair on this side. So once I get close to the end, I will grab some of that extra hair and add that into what I'm wrapping. because I don't want like bulky, thick ends. I kind of want it to be a smooth transition, as smooth as possible. Some of mine are going to be thicker than others. They're not going to be perfect, but I just don't want like a thick end and then a very thin piece of curly hair either. So I have added that in. So I basically run out of hair on the other side. So what I'm going to do now is go back up with the rest of this hair. So I'm gonna go up some and I'm gonna come back down, and that kind of helps to lock in the lock so that it won't unravel. So I go all the way to the very last piece of hair and just roll up and down. So you can see my end here. It kind of goes gradually. It could have been a little bit smoother, but overall I just don't want a super bulky end. Oops. So if you need to see the instructions, feel free to rewind it. I'm not going to go over it again just for the sake of time on this video. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, and I'm going to come back with the final look. So to wrap the hair up, I was going to add my seashells. So I've had these seashells forever, and I was like, how do you put these on, right? So I was on TikTok the other day and I seen a girl put the rubber band in it and then you put it on the lock. But I played myself because I have no little black rubber band. All the girl did on TikTok was she put the rubber band through some of those openings and then you slid it on there. So I got the one, and she gonna stay on there for now, but I am gonna add some more later on just to give it a little bit more pizzazz. Let's just talk about the time. So I said before that you definitely have to have patience with this hairstyle. So yesterday I started my hair around noon. I did not have help parting. I did everything myself. So I worked until about midnight. Now I did have about, I would say I took about 3 hours in break. So let's just say I worked about between 8 and 9 hours on the locks yesterday, and I woke up today and I worked about 3 hours on them today. So let's just say this was a 12-hour hairstyle. If you have any more questions, just go ahead and leave those in the comments below. I'll be sure to get back with you. I'll also try to remember to give you guys an update about how long these lasted. I'm gonna do a quick 360 for you all. I know I have them styled so you can't really see the length. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I have some more content coming soon. Thanks for watching. It's your girl, Leah Monet.